Today is Thursday, May 28th, 2026. All praises to the Most High God Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, so let it be true. Love, honor, and respect to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, to His Holy Son Yahweh Shai, who died for the 12 tribes of Israel. Matthew chapter 15, verse 24, Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. And double honors to the apostles of GMS, to the 4 major prophets, and to the 12 minor prophets, and to the brothers, the Aki, the 144,000 who are preaching the word of God on the 4 corners of this world, risking their lives day in and day out. And Shalom. Peace and blessings to all my brothers, sisters, and children who are watching this video. We're on another lesson. So yesterday, there were some reports that the United States attacked Iran, and Iran hit back. So it says the Gulf explodes, U.S. strikes Iran, and Iran hits back. Trump says blow up Oman, and Kuwait military base attacked. So this war is not going to stop. Okay, Donald Trump, your Congress, your Senate, everything that comes out of their mouth is lies about this peace agreement. There's going to be peace. There's not going to be no peace. He does this from Monday to Friday, and then the weekend they start going at it. Okay, and they try to cover it up. Okay, they're saying right before I came out there was a tentative 60-day agreement reached on Iran pending Trump's approval. And according to Iran, they're not talking to nobody. Okay, this is all in the imagination of the U.S. government, because, like I said, they have to lie to the U.S. citizens, because we're in serious trouble. Okay, every day that goes by, the United States is digging a deep hole into the ground. Okay, we're in big trouble here in the United States. Okay, the gas prices right now, they're gonna skyrocket. It's bad now. It's gonna get much worse. Okay, because now we're going 3 months. I think what's today? Today's the 28th. I think it's 3 months since the start of the war. Okay, now we're going into June, and it doesn't look good. Okay. The United States is facing a critical energy supply crisis. Iran is successfully executing a strategy to pressure the U.S. economy by leveraging global energy dependence. Okay, they're winning. All right, Iran is winning this war. The longer, every day that goes by is a nail in the coffin for the U.S. economy. Okay, inventory depletion. The U.S. has seen massive draw in energy inventories, with 35 million barrels of gasoline and nearly 15 million barrels of oil lost since the start of the conflict. U.S. gasoline inventory will be drained if the war conflict continues. Okay, we're draining our reserves, right? Because the gas prices would be much higher. So we're draining the reserves that we have here in the States, for the United States, and they're selling oil to other parts of the world. Because what they started, when they started this war, it's global. Okay, and they're talking about 35 million lost here in the United States, but global, with the Strait of Hormuz, over 700 million barrels have been lost since this war started. I mean, going into the summer months and into fall and winter, man, it's gonna get bad. Okay, it's gonna get bad. People are starting to see their electricity bills double. Different parts of the country, mostly in the south. It's gonna get bad. Okay, that's why we're out here to warn our brothers and sisters who are watching. Very few people are watching. Most of these people, they're out of their minds. Okay, they think everything's okay. They believe the Western media, which is all lies. Okay, like I said, they're going to sacrifice the U.S. population. They don't care. You're responsible for taking care of your family. Don't rely on the government to take care of you. Okay, and you're going to find out really fast here that they don't care about you. Okay, because their gas prices, they're going to get much higher. They're running out of oil for your cars, you know, to have oil changes. They're running out of parts. They're running out of everything. All right, this is, like I said, this is going to be a dominoes effect. Massive wave of restaurant bankruptcies and closures. Over 90,000 since 2020. Restaurants that have been closed. Every day I read in the news, restaurants closing. Okay, I watched one recently during Mother's Day where a lady, a father and mother took their children, and they only could buy a meal for their children to eat. They were just watching them eat. Okay, and I watched videos where waitresses and waiters, they're not making, you know, they're making $30-$40. They're not making nothing. People are not tipping, and a lot of these restaurants are empty. Okay, because we're beyond a recession now. We're going into that. We're in that time of a depression for most Americans. They're struggling, and they're being burned. They're burnout. All right, they're working 2-3 jobs, and they're still not making it. Okay, they're in the red. All right, Americans are in serious trouble. Serious trouble. So in restaurants, that's the red flags when you see restaurants empty. Okay, most restaurants. You know, you have some restaurants that people still go to. You know, very few though. Most of your fast food, most of your mom and pop shops, they're closing. They're not going to make it. Okay. So 90,000 restaurants since 2020. Independent mom and pops establishments are failing at the rate of 5 times faster than major chains. All right, and that's the time that we're living in. Like, this is the year that a lot of people are just going to be losing their jobs, and there's going to be so many foreclosures, and it's already happening. Okay, things ain't looking good. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. I wanted to talk to you about brothers and sisters that are watching. A few years back, my gas car, starting to rain here, broke down, and I have a mechanic, and I called him up. And what's crazy is it broke down in front of my house, and I was taking my son to work every day. He was working in I'm on a video. I'll call you right back. Sorry, brothers and sisters. So he was working way out in Boulder County, and it would take me, I don't know, an hour to take him to work and an hour back. That's how bad the traffic was. But the car broke down in front of my home. Okay, and I called my mechanic and I said something happened to the car. It's not starting. You think you take a look at it, or we can get it towed to your garage. And he said he was so behind. He said he wouldn't be able to see my car for at least a month. I said, a month? He said, yeah. So I said, it is what it is. So he sent the tow truck to pick it up and take it to his garage. And I had my daughter for a couple days driving me around, and it was too much for her. So I told her, I said, you know what, drop me to Nissan, because I seen a thing that they were doing a lot of rebates back then. Okay, and I went in there, showed up my ID, and I got an electric car. That's when they were doing all these rebates. And I walked in and walked out with an electric car. Never even crossed my mind to get an electric car until my gas car went down. All right, so I believe God directed me in that direction, and I got this electric car. It was a brand new car. I had to learn everything about it, and I ended up liking it. Which I didn't know is in the area that I live in, you have gas stations. We'll go back to what I was going to talk about, but you have gas stations where you could charge your car. Okay, you have the regular gas stations, and then you have the electric. Okay, where they charge you. Yeah, so you have a fast charge and you have a slow charge. So the fast charges, you got to use a credit card. You got to get set up. Like I said, I just started to learn this, okay, because my car was still at the mechanic. Then I found out, God directed me, that in my area there's free charging centers around. So a lot of you brothers and sisters, I don't know about this. I haven't paid for over 2 years. I haven't paid nothing. I just go and I charge it up. It's for free. Okay, so I don't know what state you live in, but you can look it up. And I've saved thousands. Okay, now I have 4 electric cars for my family and my kids. All right, I'm just giving you this message because gas prices are going to get really high. Okay, we're not talking about $6, $7. I believe if this war continues, you're going to see prices at $8, $9, $10, $12 a gallon. Okay, once you start seeing a barrel of oil going for 150 to 200, 250 on up, it's just going to go up. Okay, people, you can watch videos right now. People are just losing it. They're showing. I've been watching videos. People are just putting 2 gallons of gasoline. They don't know. They're not in the know. Like I wasn't in the know 2 to 3 years ago. 2.5, 3 years ago when I got my first electric car. I didn't know about all this. I heard it was a little more reasonable than gasoline, but back then gasoline wasn't that high. Right? But the thing is, if you find a free charging center, you're good. Okay? And I just wanted to let you brothers and sisters, because you might have to go that route. Okay? Like I said, I have 4 of them now. And I have all my kids, they have a car to get around, okay? A lot of the older models, they only hold, like, starting to rain, they only hold, because I have one, a 2013 Nissan, their Leafs, it holds 82 miles, that's the full charge. Because every year goes by, the battery starts to get weaker. Okay, but 82 miles is still good to drive around. I have one electric car, the newer one, it goes to over 250 miles. Okay, so it could take me all the way to Cheyenne, Wyoming. It could take me to Colorado Springs. I can go up and back without paying $1. Okay, and the other cars I have, they go one goes like 100. But the older models, they'll get you to work and back. Okay, but if you want to save money, you can save thousands of dollars. Okay, because when I had the gas, my gas car, I still have it. It's put away. I don't use it. But when I was taking my son to Boulder County, I was spending I would say a month on gasoline, $600-700 a month. Okay, going up, back, going back and forth, just all my running around that I do every day. I was saving, like I said, with all the cars, I'm just saving a ton. All right, you'll save a lot of money, and you're going to notice it. But I just wanted to let you brothers and sisters know about this. Like I said, most people don't know. And lately they said people on Google, I believe 30% of people searching are looking up electric cars. Okay, so people are starting to wake up, but they still don't know about those free charging centers. Okay, is it cheaper than gasoline when you have to pay with a credit card? It's cheaper than paying for gasoline. Okay, but you can't go wrong with the free charging centers. Okay, it's starting to rain, but I wanted to bring out that scripture. It's in the holy book of Joel, and let's see here. It's in the holy book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 28 and 29, and it's also in the holy book of Acts. And in the book of Acts, let's go with let me see, what chapter is it here? Acts chapter 2, verse 17. We'll start with Acts chapter 2, verse 17. And this is what I will do in the last days. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai says, I will pour out my spirit on everyone. Your sons and daughters will proclaim my message. Your young men will see visions, and your old men will have dreams. Yes, even my servants, both men and women. I will pour out my spirit in those days, and they will proclaim my message. I will perform miracles in the sky above and wonders on the earth below. There will be blood, fire, and thick smoke. The sun will be darkened, and the moon will turn red as blood before the great and glorious day of the Lord comes. And then whoever calls out to the Lord Yahushai for help will be saved. Okay? And people are having these dreams. They're having these visions of the end of the world. Since I've been a little boy, I've seen a ton of visions. Okay? And I'm going to talk about a dream that my sister had. But it's happening. People are getting closer to God. They can see that there's something wrong with this world. Everything's upside down. People are starting to wake up. And like I said, we're living in great times. All right. Now this war in the Middle East could drag 5, 7, 10, 12 years. Okay, it could go 15 years. But you see how fast these days are going by. 1 month is like 10 days, and you're on the next month. See, June's already coming up. Before you know it, it'll be like 10 days, boom, it's July. So these months are moving quickly. In these end days, things are moving at warp speed, moving quickly. Okay? So he's making it happen. Okay, but this war, like I said, it's going to go back and forth. All right, right now, the United States is trying to pause, have a timeout, because we're running out of munitions and missiles. Okay, but like I said, it's going back and forth, and it could just start escalating. You know, them Amalekites, them fake, those Zionists in Israel, they don't want nothing to stop. They want to continue. They continue to bomb in Lebanon. All right, they continue to bomb every day over there, because that's that greater Israel. They want the whole Middle East for these Amalekites. Okay. And the heathens right now rule over the Holy Land. Okay, but this war, like I said, it's going to get bad out here. All right, we're going to see famine, and we're going to see the plague, the pestilence. That's all happening right now. You just watch the news. They're talking about, you can see what they're talking about with spreading out in Africa, with the mice and the rats. All right, that's the plague, and that's in the holy book. And there's going to be people just losing it, and that's you can read that in the news every day. Murders, suicides. Uh, People are in confusion right now. Okay, but in these end days, people, your children are going to see. They're going to have these dreams. Old people, your grandparents, people are going to feel the pressure, the evil that's coming upon this earth. So people can feel it and they can see it. So the dream, this was I don't remember the year. It was late 90s. It could have been early 2000. Okay, so my sister, her name is Jacqueline. Call her Jackie. Okay, she calls me up, and early in the morning. It was like 5:30 in the morning. She calls me up. I wake up. I answer the phone, and she's crying, and you can't even understand her. Okay, and I'm saying, is everything okay? The first thing that went to my head was someone passed away in the family, and she just came out of this dream. She told me she's telling me I can't understand her. She's just saying I had this horrible dream. And I said, well, what was the dream about? And she told me, she said it was the end of the world, brother, and you were in it. And I said, well, what happened? She said, you came to our house. She said it was just dark and gloomy during that time. She said it was just dark, gloomy, the wind was blowing, and she said it was just bad. It was the end of the world. She said that I showed up to pick her up. She said I was in some trucks. She said there was a couple semis, cars. She said there was a lot of us together. There was a lot of people with me. And I went to go pick her up. And I said, get all your belongings. I said, you're coming with us. And I put everything in these. She said there was a bunch of trucks. And first thing she told me, she said, where's your kids? Because I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. She said, she says their names. Where are they? And I told her, they're gone. They're no longer here on earth. And she started to cry. And I said, just get in the car. I said, we got to go. She said, then we started all moving, in these vehicles. And she said there was military everywhere. And she said that all the highways were on lockdown. It was all with military. The tanks, she said the highways all had barbed wire fences with barbed wires, and they were electric. And she said people were being electrocuted when we were going by the highway, going over the overpass. And she said the major streets there was military, but she said when we entered, the military would let us go through. They were stopping other people, but they were letting us go through with all the cars, trucks, and I believe she said there was a couple semis. Just a lot of people, but they were letting us go through. But she said when she was looking at the highways, that the people were, she said there were mostly young kids that were getting stuck on these electric fences, and they were dying and getting stuck on the barbed wire. Because the only way to get out of the city, it was the highways. But she said we were in the city just driving, we were moving. And they were letting us through, but she just said there was people dead on the streets. It was as bad, but she said things were moving fast on the highways with tanks and military trucks. Then she said we hit a gas station to fill up the vehicles, and she said I was outside filling up the trucks and cars, and she went into the gas station to get some snacks or whatever. She was in there, and she said that when she was in there, someone inside the store, the telephone rang, and the lady that was behind the counter answered the phone, and they said it was the U.S. government, and they wanted to talk to my sister. And when she was talking to him, she said, "We want to talk to your brother." And she said, "He's outside." And that's when she came out and she told me, she said, "Come here." She said, "They're on the phone. They want to talk to you." And I picked up the phone, and I said, "What happened?" She said that they told you what's going to happen now. What's going to happen? And then I told them this is it. This is the end. It's the end of the world. It's the end of America. It's over. We're going to be hit with missiles. And then I put the phone back. And I think she said that they said, we want to talk to the guy with the white beard. And that's when I went in there and I picked up the phone, and that's when they told me what's going to happen. And I told them, it's it. This is it. It's the end of the world. This is it. America's going to be hit with nuclear missiles. And then she said that we got together. She said everybody was in the store, was grabbing food. Everyone was like running out. It was like it was over. Okay. And when we walked out, before I went into the vehicle, my two daughters and my two sons appeared. She said that I told her that they were gone. So and I believed that they were gone. But at the end of the dream, in her dream, my kids were all there. We were all together. So I don't know. They were picked up, taken to a concentration camp. I don't know. But the Most High opened the doors for them, wherever they had them at, and they came to me. We went in the vehicles and we left. And she said that was it. And she said the sky was just like glowing. I remember her saying that the sky was this. It was unreal. The sky was just, how when you see lightning flashes, she said the sky was glowing like with colors of like red, pink, purple. She just said the sky did not look normal. So there were already, maybe it was already places already that were already hit on the earth with nuclear, because that could be a nuclear fallout. But that was her dream. And I still remember it to this day. It was like yesterday. Like I said, this was many, many years ago. And I've had my own dreams and visions that'll come out in the future. But this is something I wanted to share with you, brothers and sisters. The time is short. Repent. Get right with the Lord. Don't look back. Get right with God. And read your holy book and being in prayer and have that spiritual connection with God, because we're in these end times. And like I said, that dream really shook her up. All right, God showed her something that was going to happen in the future. Like I said, that was many, many years ago. And like I said, I still remember it like if it was yesterday when she called me. And hope all you brothers and sisters were edified with this lesson. It was a short lesson. Tomorrow I'm going to come out, and I'm going to bring out a lot of scriptures out tomorrow. Wanted to come out before it rains. But Most High willing, I'll be here tomorrow. Hope all you brothers and sisters were edified. Keep on fighting the good fight. Never quit. And never let Satan take your dignity. And just get closer to God. Like I said, there's so many things are happening right now. This is the time to have that close spiritual connection with Yahushua, the Lord, because He is coming back and the whole world's going to be in shock. Okay? And just recently, the United States released UFO footage. Okay, they're keeping people, like I said, they're bringing out a lot of information and people are bugging out. But the chariots are real. In the U.S. government, they call them UFOs, unidentified flying objects. But in the Holy Book, they're called the chariots of the Most High God. All right? Elijah, the book of Ezekiel, Elijah was picked up in a chariot. It talks about Moses walking into, look in the Holy Book, read it. Moses went inside a chariot. All right? During the time when Moses, the cloud that was a chariot would follow him. Okay? It's all over the Holy Book. The chariots. The heathens, they're going to be disturbed. They're losing it. And you're going to see these chariots come. When the Lord comes back, when Yahushua comes back, that chariot that He's going to be in is going to be bigger than the size of Texas. All right? NASA knows that there's chariots out there in space, size of planets, moving around out there. Right? You have small ones and you have big, some the size of a state, and then you have huge ones the size of planets out there moving around, and they know it. All right. So, like I said, get closer to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, read your holy book, and fight the good fight. All right. Thank you for watching.